What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about two different cryptos today. We're going to talk about Dash and Zcash all in one video. We'll talk about Dash first and finish up the video talking about Zcash. If that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. Okay, it's the 22nd day of January, and here we are with Dash sitting at about $64.40. We look at this from a high to a low here. You can see we've gone right up to our golden ratio zone, pulled back to our 0.5382 area exactly as expected, and likely we will recover from here and move up higher. I forget what my last video of Dash was. I want to say it was here on this day, maybe the 18th of January. And we were getting excited because you bounced off the 0.5 and you came all the way back up to the golden ratio zone. But I forget what I said in that video, but if I didn't say that then, I should have said it. But let me tell you now, it's important that you close above the golden ratio. We were getting excited because at the time of making the video, I do want to say we were above the golden ratio, but and a bounce right off the 0.5, that's very, very powerful stuff. But all we did at the end of the day was found resistance here, came back down to this very highly anticipated area to find support, and likely from here we will recover and continue to move up higher. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but what we're doing here is extremely normal behavior when consolidating from your golden ratio. Typically from this zone, maybe you go down to the 382, maybe you go as low as $61 itself. You're at $64 now. I don't think it matters that much. But whether it's here as the low, whether it's there as the low, wherever it might be, somewhere in between here and there, you are likely going to move up, and the next area that you go to is the 786, 886. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but from here, more or less, maybe we go down a little bit, from here, we should be seeing a move up that takes us about 70% to 96% higher. If not that high, then maybe higher. Maybe we do go all the way up to the 100. Sometimes that happens too. But likely somewhere in this zone between about $109 to $130 would be the target area that we go to. That's the expectation on my end, at least. Let's look at the short-term stuff. We'll zoom out from there. We'll see if we can refine this. Should we expect slightly lower prices? Should we expect an immediate bounce? Like what's up? Let's just see what's going on. 1 hour time frame here, and maybe use some volume. Coinbase there. Yeah, you're dropping, and so is your volume. You're probably going to reverse very soon. I mean, this hour literally could have been the hour that provides your low for Dash. Like that really could have been the low right there. Low to high here. Just below the 1414, pretty common area. Your golden ratio is here at 61.73. That's your golden ratio extension, right? Off of that. But if we take this from a low here, wasn't it from this low to this high? Am I crazy? What am I missing here? There was something. Maybe it's this one. Hold on. Is it this golden ratio? High to low. It's this golden ratio. We hit the golden ratio here. What was it? There was something. I'm getting all sidetracked. Oh, we hit the golden ratio as resistance. That's what it was. We hit the golden ratio as resistance. Might we find the golden ratio support? I was trying to look for a time where we found golden ratio support, but that just didn't happen. All I'm trying to say is 61.73 could be where we go. 61.73 is the golden ratio extension here, and whenever we look at this original fib that we had, 61.14 is kind of the lower ends of what our expectations might be. So that all lines up. That's nice to see. We highly likely will not go below like $61. Okay, that's all that is there. Sorry, I got a little hiccup there. Looking at this on the 1 hour indicators, bearish RSI, stochastics, MACD, they all suck. They're not telling us anything, but you're choppy and moving sideways. They're not going to be that helpful here. 4 hour time frame looking at this, the RSI is a little bit sad. Lower lows, lower highs. I would think you continue down at least until you hit the oversold zone, if not into the oversold zone. So from here, is this the low? Maybe. Probably not. I mean, maybe. Again, we could go as low as like $61, but we probably don't go below there. Finding support here right at prior resistance, it's perfect. It's literally perfect. You're very near your low. I just don't think you're there yet. And when I say very near, we're at $65. You're like less than $4 away, man, from your low. You're at 65.14 right now. You're right there, but probably a little bit lower. Bullish divergence forming. You look like you're set to move back higher, but maybe just a little bit lower first. Daily time frame, very bullish RSI. Stochastics are right at the point you'd expect to bounce, as is the daily MACD. All suggesting that we bounce soon. I mean, if if we don't go lower, I think this does suffice as a low. That's fine. But just on the 1 hour and the 4 hour, I'm not seeing any clear indications that we're ready to move up just yet. Therefore, I'm sticking with we're going to continue to drop. But I could be wrong. There's nothing wrong with this being the low. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. But here at $65, if you're waiting for the price to go down to $61 before you buy, let me be the first to tell you, I don't think it's worth it. Even like 62, 61, whatever range you're looking for, I don't think this little dip is worth waiting for. I think that buying here, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, buying right at this price right now at $65, it's completely worth it. I give the green light entirely. Just you have to be willing to sit through a less than 8% drop. That's about it. And that might not even come. The drop is not guaranteed to happen. We as human beings, whenever we hear someone say that the price is going to go down, we expect it as like a prophecy, as if it's guaranteed to happen. And if you don't buy here because you're waiting to buy there, you're going to be left with cash in your hand. You're going to be sidelined. All that dry powder is not going to be injected into Dash, and it's just going to take off without you. I think the risk of that happening far exceeds the risk of this happening, right? Like that, it's not even close. So is it a good time to buy? It's not the absolute low, right? The low we have right now is $63.90. It's probably not the absolute low. It probably does go a little bit lower, but absolutely, it's the best time. I think it's a great time to buy. You're going to feel super smart buying here in a week or two, maybe in a few days. Again, looking at this on a high to low time frame, high to low scale on the daily time frame. I can't talk, man. I did not sleep well last night, apparently. We will recover from this area, likely go to the 786, 886 zone. Typically what you do from here is you'll backtest the golden ratio for support, which is also backtesting prior resistance for support. You'll move up from there, and this is when the exciting move happens. This is just stair-stepping. We're just consolidating, configuring, doing our stuff. We might configure a little bit more, but once we break above the 886, once we're in this kind of area here, ready to break out after finding support on the golden ratio, sky's the limit, man. 222, 367, we've got phenomenal potential from here. Again, probably sometime in February, I would assume that Dash is 3.4 to 5.6 times higher in price than it is now. Let me say it again. Some point in February, probably by the end of February, Dash will be somewhere between $222 to $368. I'm very convinced of this. All right, that's Dash. Let's move on to Zcash. I spent way too much time talking about Dash. Zcash, the coin that everybody cared about whenever they were told to care about it. And now nobody cares about it because they're not being told to care about it. All I mean by that is everybody was obsessed with the privacy narrative, but it's like, no, you weren't. You weren't actually obsessed. Everybody who convinced themselves to buy Zcash here because the privacy narrative is hot, it wasn't because of privacy. You bought because it was pumping. That's why you bought. If the privacy narrative's hot for you, you would have bought Xano, you would have bought Monero, you would have bought any plethora of coins besides Zcash that are much, much better and superior alternatives to a privacy coin. This is not that. No, the reason why people invested in Zcash was not because of the privacy narrative. That's the reason they were given. That's the bone that they were given, right? The real reason was you're greedy, you can't help yourselves, it's pumping, so you're going to chase the things that pump. And now it's not pumping, now it's doing this, and you're like, why did I even buy this thing? It's because you never bought because of the narrative. You only bought because it's pumping. You're wondering why you ever bought this thing, it's because it's not pumping, right? You had no questions of why you bought it there. You just needed a reason. Oh, the narrative is the privacy coin. Okay, here we go. I'm on a whole different rant here, but just saying, I'm trying to make a point out of this so we all grow as investors and traders, right? If you're trying to make a play off something, make a play off something for the fundamental values that you believe in, not because of what the narrative is telling you to think. Because if you're buying something for the narrative, likely you're not. Likely, like, if it's a narrative that you've concocted, okay, that's different. But if it's the narrative that's being pushed by the media, you're not buying because of the narrative. You're buying because the price is pumping. That's what it is. The narrative is just that icing on top to help sugarcoat the BS. Anyways, man, $360 here. That's where we are. I don't know how much sense that makes or not. I don't know, but I mean every word of that. We're pulling back a little bit. You know, I would have expected here that we would have started moving up higher, but being this low, being this far down right now, it does make me skeptical. I wonder if we still have lower to go for Zcash. High to low or low to high here. You know, we hit the 236, came back down. Statistically speaking, in this kind of environment, you would expect to go to the 382, which is all the way down at $230. I mean, we're at 358 right now. It could happen. I'm not calling for that. That's not my call, but it could happen. Be aware, $358 now, you could see a $230 price. You could even go just below $200 if you really wanted to. But let's look at the short-term stuff and see what's going on here. Let's just see if we are going to bounce, if we're going to go lower, what the implications are. 1 hour time frame here. A little bit more volume in this range. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if there is accumulation. This actually, look at how much more volume there is right here compared to like before when you're dropping. There might be some accumulation going on here over the past few days since the 18th. Hold on. I thought a fly just landed on me or something. I felt like something on my hair, but nope. Stochastics coming down. There shouldn't be any flies, man. It's January. It's cold out. The MACD is not going to help us. You're moving sideways. The 1 hour time frame is probably not going to help us, but it does look bearish. I would think you keep moving down. That doesn't necessarily mean that you move to lower lows. The RSI looks bearish here. The stochastics look bearish here, and the MACD is bearish as well. You had bullish divergence, and this is all you got out of it. Bearish. Okay, so that's not good. You probably do go lower. Probably do see lower lows. Oh. Now here's something interesting. You do have bullish divergence on your RSI and on your MACD and on your stochastics. The question is, was this move enough for the bullish divergence to be fulfilled? And if I had to tell you, I would say yes. I think it was. It's just enough to fulfill the needs of this bullish divergence. In other words, we can still go down now. Even though there is bullish divergence, technically what we did yesterday, that could have been it. That could have been it. And now we move lower. We're in a really interesting environment here with Zcash because everything up until the daily time frame would have told me that we were going to go lower than this range. The daily's giving me a little bit of an implication here that this really could be the low. This could be the higher low that you needed. I mean, right at the 786. I don't know. Just thinking out loud here, you had your bullish divergence, and that was all you got was yesterday's move. You wicked back down. You broke below the golden ratio, and then yesterday you pulled back up to it to find resistance, and you rejected. I think you go lower. At this point in time, I'm convinced we go below this low, which means the immediate next target is 323. Does that mean that we go all the way down to 230? No. We could find support at 310 or 300. We could find support right here. We could find a double bottom. We could find a slightly lower low. Any of that's possible. But 357 right now, the call is to go down to 323 or lower. And the bottom of that or lower option could be somewhere around $233 to $206. I'm not saying we're going to go down here. I'm just saying right now it's a lot more likely than it was back here. And it was pretty likely back here. At least 323. We'll see how we do with that. If you can bounce off of 323, in fact, I don't care what you do. You get any day to close above $381, you're saved. A day not to move above, but to close above $381. If you can close above 381, you're saved. If you can't, you might be going lower, man. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Dash looks good. Zcash, nah, not so much. I'm sure Zcash will recover. Even if we go all the way down to 230, you will recover. I believe Zcash will see a $5,000 price by the end of this year of 2026. Certainly, I do believe it'll be worth multiple thousands of dollars at least. But now is not the time. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.